Hello from New York.
Greetings from London.
Right, so we are continuing our Media for Growth series. If you've been watching the last 3 or 4 episodes, you'll know that we have a theme running through those episodes, which is a plan for the media director in 2020. And the idea is to empower them, to encourage their organization to see media as an investment in growth and as a lever for growth. Now, the previous episodes, we started talking about the media organization internally. The last episode before this, we talked about the value of conducting an internal diagnostic, which helps you understand really where the strengths are in your current media operations, and also where there are gaps versus best practice, things that maybe you want to evolve and to change and to define the new media operation. The next stage of that for us is what we call the peer benchmarking. So that's where we are encouraging our clients, the marketers, to connect with their peers in other similar businesses or businesses that have faced similar challenges. Why is peer benchmarking important? And then, as a marketer, what's the value that you get from that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the diagnostic tool is brilliant, right? Because it gives you an understanding of what your current organization is good at and perhaps less good at. But it can be quite insular. So it's reflective of your own kind of strengths and weaknesses. By reaching out to other companies that perhaps have gone through similar journeys, you can begin to get common standards that they have adopted that can only enhance your own thinking, okay? And what we've also found incredibly powerful is that some of the mistakes perhaps that other organizations have made as they go through this kind of journey themselves can be, the learnings can be understood and can accelerate our kind of clients' kind of transformational journey. So it's an incredibly valuable and powerful part of the process.
Yeah. And one of the things that we find every time we do any kind of diagnostics, and when it comes to the peer benchmarking, is that the marketer team that we're working with, the CMO or the media director, have always got this kind of nagging feeling like they're behind everybody else, right? Everybody always says that. I think we're really dragging behind everybody else. We need to catch up with the industry. That's what every marketer seems to think. And the peer benchmarking really teases that out. Yeah. And every time we do it, there's always a moment where they turn around and they say, "Oh, we're not as bad as we thought we were," And that's incredibly, even though it's a very small insight, it's incredibly powerful and motivating, realization for them. And it gives great momentum to change then. It's really good.
So Tom, what is it?
Well, what is peer benchmarking? Well, the way that we do it, this is the way that we do it, that you might find helpful, is that when we're in the middle of a diagnostic with a particular advertiser, what we do is we work with them to identify a handful of other advertisers, normally 4, 5, 6 other advertisers, who are either facing similar challenges or have overcome some of the challenges that the advertiser anticipates. So that may be a very different thing. So we make a short list of the peers that might be relevant for them to speak to. And then we start some self-assessment. So we ask the peer advertisers to actually conduct some self-assessment, and they're very helpful actually in being very honest and candid about that. You have to be careful not to ask too much sensitive information, but we've got a really good framework for those questions. And we ask the advertiser also to evaluate themselves just for the purpose of this exercise. What's really interesting is that you can then map the two obviously over each other, and you can start to see where those gaps are. Yeah. Now, where those gaps are sometimes, not always, but there's sometimes those are places that the advertiser themselves thinks that they need to make some change or evolve. And so where you can see there's a gap, you've got an advertiser there who's potentially quite strong in an area that you might be acknowledging that you're a bit weaker in. So then that requires us to do some face-to-face, one-to-one interviews. So we set up time, and again, we facilitate that, structure that with some really key questions which dig into those areas where we really need to know. Yeah. And as you said, the opportunity is for the marketer to learn how to accelerate to close those gaps very quickly from somebody that is either far advanced or has recently closed those gaps. Yeah. And it avoids them making the same mistakes or avoid the pitfalls, avoid the dead ends, and find out how to really, evolve their media operation in a way that gets them up to that kind of best practice.
Yeah.
Hugely valuable to do that. What we find is for the marketer, though, that these interviews and the learnings you get from the benchmarking are so motivating. And it, as I said before, it really sometimes opens their eyes to think of the possibilities, because they hear from their peers very honestly about some of the challenges that they've had to overcome. Yeah. And it's actually quite motivating for the marketer. They're raring to kind of get going at that point. And we find that they're really useful. And at the very least, it's just networking peers, actually, which everybody likes to do. And it's amazing sometimes, how isolated you can be as a marketer. So it kind of does help unlock a new network for you. Right then, so what should marketers do?
Seriously consider speaking to their peer group brands, right? So when I was a marketing director, I used to enjoy having conversations with other media directors, because I would always take an insight or some sort of recommendation back to within my organization that could help me do my job better. But what is so powerful about the peer group benchmarking that we conduct is that it's structured and ordered and organized in a way that probes the critical questions and issues that our clients have to deal with, often that keep our clients up at night. So, extracting those kind of insights in a really ordered and organized way is incredibly valuable. So, peer group benchmarking is such a powerful tool.
Good. So do peer benchmarking. That would be our advice. Very, very helpful. We will continue this series into future episodes. So we're taking these inputs from diagnostics, from peer benchmarking, and we'll show you how to redesign your media operations to be future fit. And that's a lot of the work that we do for advertisers. You can find out more at idcomms.com, how we do these kind of things. But that's your media snack for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.
See you next time.